بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is Unit 2, speaking. But before we do that, please open your workbooks, page 93. Your workbooks, open your workbooks now, page 93, exercise F. Exercise F here. Complete the conversation with the words and phrases from the book. So we have a conversation here between Maya and Lisa. We'll be filling the gaps 1, 2, 3, and so with these words or phrases. Come to think of it, quite the, spread, have a sweet tooth, put you out, whip them up in no time. Again, come to think of it, quite the, spread, have a sweet tooth, put you out, whip them up in no time. So let's read the conversation now and fill the gaps as we read. Maya, are you hungry? Lisa, a little. Maya, I can make a snack. How about some nachos? Lisa, oh, thank you, but I don't want to. So, number 1 here, the first gap. Oh, thank you, but I don't want to. You're busy with other things. So she's being polite here. I don't want to. What do we choose here? Come to think of it, have a sweet tooth, quite the, put you out, spread, whip them up in no time. So the correct answer would be very good. Put you out. I don't want to put you out. You're busy with other things. Maya, it's no trouble at all. I can, really, I make them all the time and it's very fast. So again, Maya, it's no trouble at all. I can, so she can, what here? Really, I make them all the time. It's very fast. It means that she's cooking or making something very fast. So which one here? When you make something very fast? Yes, very good. Whip them up in no time. It's no trouble at all. I can whip them up in no time. Really, I make them all the time and it's very easy. Of course, he's talking about nachos here. Lisa, thanks. I'd love some, but to tell you the truth, how about something sugary? So she said, okay, thank you. I'd love some, but to tell you the truth, then she continued, how about something sugary, something sweet? So this is a hint here for number 3. So to tell you the truth, yes, I have a sweet tooth. I have a sweet tooth, which means someone who likes to eat sweets. Maya, oh, no problem. I baked cookies this morning. I almost forgot. I also have some cake that I made yesterday and leftover pie from 2 days ago. Please help yourself to any of it. So again, Maya, oh, no problem. So what do we say here? Number 4, I baked cookies this morning. So she just remembered something. So yes, very good. We say, come to think of it. When you say come to think of it, it means you just remembered something. Oh, no problem. Come to think of it, I baked cookies this morning. I almost forgot. I also have some cake that I made yesterday and leftover pie from 2 days ago. Please help yourself to any of it. Lisa, wow, that is a huge what? And notice here the exclamation mark. Huge what? When there's a large meal, a feast, let's say. There are so many choices. You can notice here there are so many choices. Your cook, aren't you? I'm impressed. So number 5, wow, this is a huge, yes, a huge spread. There are so many choices. Your cook, aren't you? I'm impressed. So she's complimenting how she cooks. So there are so many choices. Yes, quite the cook, aren't you? Which means you are a very good cook. Aren't you? I'm impressed. Maya, Oh, thank you. I just hope you will save room for dinner. Well, I'll try, but I can't make any promises. So this is the first exercise. Second one, exercise G, page 94. Open, please, page 94 here and look at the pictures. Write a sentence about each picture. So write a sentence about each picture using a phrasal verb and a noun object. Then rewrite the same sentence, rewrite it using a pronoun object. So choose write about each picture using phrasal and noun object, a noun object. Then rewrite the same sentence using pronoun object. The first one is already done for you. Don't forget to take the cookies out of the oven. Don't forget to take the cookies out of the oven. Then here the pronoun, don't forget to take them. Them is the pronoun of the cookies, of course. Take them out. Take them out of the oven. So the first picture, write a sentence using phrasal verb with a noun object. Then rewrite the same sentence but using a pronoun object. Using a pronoun object. So just change the noun object and put a pronoun instead of it. And if you have to change something, the place of the pronoun in the sentence or in the phrasal verb, if necessary, of course. So look at the first picture. What can you write about it? And remember, write a sentence using phrasal verbs with a noun object. Not just any sentence, sentence with phrasal verb with a noun object. Okay, so now that you have finished, rewrite the same sentence but put the pronoun object instead of the noun object. Okay, very good. So the first one here, the first picture I've written, please turn the volume down. Please turn the volume down. So the phrasal verb is originally turn down. And the object, the noun object here is the volume. And the other sentence here, please turn it. So it here is the pronoun for the volume. Please turn it down. So please turn the volume down and please turn it down. Very good. This is the first picture. What about the second picture? The same as this one. First, write a sentence using the phrasal verb and the noun object. Then rewrite the same sentence using a pronoun object instead. So the second picture I have written here, Adil is on the phone talking the problem over with Greg. Adil is on the phone talking the problem over with Greg. So the phrasal verb is talking over. This is the verb and this is the particle over. And the object is the problem. So this is the object, this is the noun object. So it became talking it over. Adil is on the phone talking it over with Greg. Talking it over with Greg. So it is referring to the problem. What about picture number 3, the third picture? What have you written here? So as for me, I have written she's trying to give up sweets. She's trying to give up sweets. Notice here, give is the verb, up is the particle, sweets is the object which comes after the verb and the particle. And the second one here, she's trying to give them up. So once the noun object becomes pronoun, I must put it between the verb and the particle. So it became, she's trying to give them up. Very good. What about picture number 4 here? Picture number 4. So the two sentences that I've written, Tom is trying to figure out the answer. Tom is trying to figure out the answer. So figure out, the answer is the object. So Tom is trying to figure it out. Once it became a pronoun, I have to put it in the middle. Number 5 here. Number 5, Ali ran into Umar while walking towards his office. Ali ran into Umar while walking towards his office. So here it says Ali ran into him referring to Umar, while walking towards his office. Exercise H here. Exercise H. Read the article and answer the questions. So we'll be reading the article together. Then we will be answering some questions about this article. So let's listen together. Then we will answer. Let's listen.
Where in the world? Many of the fruits and vegetables we see on our supermarket shelves today are cultivated in most continents on the planet. But this wasn't always the case. Have you ever stopped to think where these foods were first grown? Date. Dates have been a dominant part of people's diets in the Middle East for thousands of years. The date palm, the tree on which the fruit grows, is probably the most ancient, cultivated tree in the world and may have originated in the region we now know as Iraq. Today, dates are widely cultivated across northern Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia. The fruit isn't only delicious, it's also very nutritious. It contains protein and vitamins, and is high in potassium and fiber. Saudi Arabia is now one of the world's biggest producers of dates. Tomato. People often associate them with Mediterranean cuisine, but tomatoes are native to Mexico and Central America. The Aztecs grew them back in the 8th century. In the 16th century, Spanish explorers introduced tomatoes to Spain, and the tomato's popularity spread quickly throughout Europe. The French, Germans, and Italians absolutely loved them. But the British thought they were poisonous at first. In the 19th century, a British diplomat introduced tomatoes to the Middle East, and now Egypt is among the world's top tomato producers. Orange. The fruit we know for its high vitamin C content is actually a hybrid, meaning it was created by combining the genes of two fruits, the pomelo and the mandarin. Oranges are grouped into two basic types according to their taste, the sweet orange and the bitter orange. When most of us talk about oranges, we actually mean the sweet orange, which is the fruit we eat and squeeze to make fruit juice. Bitter oranges are used in Chinese medicine and to make marmalade. Oranges originated in Southeast Asia, in a region including the northeastern part of India, southern China, and northern Myanmar. Today, Brazil is the leading producer of oranges in the world. Avocado. Long before the avocado became a trendy item on restaurant menus, it was cultivated by the Aztecs. The avocado is an oily fruit, rich in vitamins A, B, and C. The fruit does not get ripe on the tree. People need to pick it from the tree before it develops its flavor and full maturity. Sailors used to call avocados seaman's butter, because the fruit lasts for a long time and it was good for sea voyages. A significant number of resources are needed to cultivate the fruit, since an avocado tree takes 3 to 5 years to start bearing fruit. Today, Mexico is the largest producer and exporter of avocados in the world.
So now that we have listened to the article about avocados, about tomatoes, about dates, and about, yes, very good, about oranges, let's answer the questions now. Why are dates considered nutritious? Number 2, how did Europeans react when tomatoes were introduced throughout Europe? Number 3, where were oranges first cultivated? 4, why were avocados called seaman's butter? Number 5, which two Middle Eastern countries are among the world's leading producers of tomatoes and dates? So number 1, why are dates considered nutritious? Why are dates considered nutritious? Very healthy for you. So the answer here, because it contains protein and vitamins, and it's also high in potassium and fiber. So it's very good for your health. Number 2, how did Europeans react when tomatoes were introduced throughout Europe? How did they react? Yes, very good. The French, Germans, and Italians absolutely loved them, but the British thought they were poisonous at first, of course. The British thought they were poisonous, but the French, the Germans, the Italians, they absolutely loved them. Number 3, where were oranges first cultivated? Where were oranges first cultivated? So the answer here, oranges originated in Southeast Asia, in a region including the northeastern part of India, southern China, and northern Myanmar. Number 4, why were avocados called seaman's butter? In a time, they were called seaman's butter. Why is that? What's the reason behind this naming? So the answer is because the fruit lasts for a long time and it was good for sea voyages. So seaman's butter, because they were good for sea voyages, because they last for a long time. Number 5, which 2 Middle Eastern countries are among the world's leading producers of tomatoes and dates? 2 Middle Eastern countries are among the leading producers of tomatoes and dates. I think this is an easy question here. Of course, it's Saudi Arabia for dates, Egypt for tomatoes. And remember, for our previous lesson, we learned about the jigsaw reading, where the class divided into groups. Each group read part of the article, then they analyze and they summarize what they have read. And then we read about accidental food discoveries. If you remember, we read about the popsicle, how it was by mistake. And also we read about ice cream. The Syrian man named Hamawi, he helped his neighbor using the zalabia, of course. Then we read about cookies, where here Miss Ruth Wakefield, she invented cookies by mistakes by using chocolate cookies. When she realized she ran out of baker's chocolate, so instead she used broken up pieces of chocolate bar and inventing the cookies as we know it. And we learned about the short-tempered owner here, George Crumb, when he sliced the potatoes really thin to give to his customer, inventing the French fries, inventing the potato chips as we know it today. So jumping to today's lesson, these objectives: to make a list of popular dessert and snacks, fill a chart with favorite dessert. So work in pairs or groups, make a list of dessert and snacks that are popular and try to decide what makes them popular, as in texture, flavor, aroma, presentation, ingredients, and so on. So in pairs between you and your friend, make a list of the favorite food that you like, whether it's a dessert or a main dish, and tell why do you like it. Is it because of the taste, the aroma, the smell, the texture, the way it feels? Maybe you like rice, maybe you like cheesecake because of the taste or the texture, it's very creamy. Or maybe because of the taste of maybe some burgers, and so on. So make a list, both of you, and discuss why do you prefer this food. Jumping to the chart here, think about a new dessert or snack and make notes in the chart. Use your notes to present your dessert snack in class. So here's the chart: my favorite dessert and snacks, my new dessert or snack. And the name here, the flavor or the ingredients. Is it bought or homemade? It can be both, of course. How to make it? So you can fill this chart with your own favorite snack or your own new dessert. For example, here I said cheesecake, ingredients, cream cheese, sugar, wafers, and butter. Is it bought or homemade? It can be both. I can make it at home or I can buy it outside. How to make it? It's really easy. Just mix the butter with the wafer, crumbs, the crushed wafer crumbs, of course. Then pour the cream cheese mixed with the vanilla, of course, on the top of it. Then mix with sugar and leave it there, leave it in the fridge. Then you will have the cheesecake. My new dessert or snack, as in the conversation, of course, if you remember, between the one with Nawal, it says creme brulee. The ingredients: egg, milk, cream, and sugar. Of course, here egg means egg yolk. Is it bought or homemade? Bought or homemade? It's easy to make at home. So both, I can buy it or make it at home. How to make it? You mix the egg yolk with the milk and cream in a cup. Then bake it for 45 minutes. Then 45 minutes. Then put sugar on top. Then burn it using a torch, or you can microwave it even. Then use a torch to burn the sugar on top. So the cheesecake or creme brulee are really easy to make at home. You can do it by yourself. So I filled this chart with my own preference of sweets. So you have to fill it with your own. Number 3 here, choose what you think is the best new dessert or snack and why you think it's the best. So tell us what's the best new snack and why is it the best, of course, according to your own preference. And with that, we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.